Hi, my name is Raheem Nelson, and I'm an illustrator, creative entrepreneur, and I also work as the marketing director for the Milford Arts Council. I had a marketing meeting today with my team, with my executive director, and the artists and residents that we are working with. And I just got to thinking about all the things that I haven't learned in art school, things with business, things with working with clients, connecting with my community. And I get it. Like you go to art school, you learn, and you are just into your craft. Mine was cartooning, and I also got into oil painting too. Other people, my other peers, it was like computer design or graphic design or sculpture, photography, many other things. But it was like the craft first and how to learn from old masters and go from there. What wasn't taught was things like invoicing and getting paid on time and making sure that all that worked. And that was like a trial by fire for me, where I had situations where I wasn't necessarily getting paid from clients either on time or just to have wasn't having contracts that really worked for the type of business I wanted to create. And I realized a lot of artists don't really share their failures. And I look at failures as opportunities to grow. We're all growing as creative people. I hope that if you're watching this video, you're able to get something out of some of the lessons I've learned. For me, I really struggled initially with contracts until I did a lot of research and had a lot of hands on experience working with clients. Clients can have a system where you have to deal with accounts payable, and maybe you won't see a check for like 2 to 3 weeks or something because you're going through different departments. And what I learned is you're educating people on how to treat you, and they may just be used to certain institutions. For me, when I work with a client, I realize it's building a relationship, it's building a rapport with people. And I've been very fortunate to work with really great clients. And I always have to have that initial email, Zoom conversation, phone conversation, whatever it is, to let them know, hey, I'm going to deliver the work to you by X date and time. And if there are revisions, the revisions will get done with maybe 2 to 3 free revisions, and then it's like X amount of dollars after that. All that stuff has to be outlined in the contract, and then even getting a deposit, and then getting the money on the back half. I'm an events artist. I'm a graphic recorder, so I go to event sites or Zoom meetings, and I'm creating infographics for them. The system I've been developing is either getting a deposit, which I'm probably going to go towards, and then getting the money on the back half, or getting a check on site so that they know I'm completing the work, and then that day I'm getting paid. And sometimes I do get resistance from nonprofits and companies that are like, well, we have our own way of doing things, this, that, and the third. And if a company is working with me, I always want to make sure that I let them know what my expectations are as an artist. And when I get paid, I am charging what my rate is based on research, because I do a lot of research on what other professionals charge for their services in my field, whether it's photography or graphic recording or editorial illustration. So I have a place of reference to pull from, and then I'm presenting that number based on the experience I have and the work that I've done for different clients. And that is kind of how I arrive at my rate. But long story short is I had a situation recently with a client that has thankfully been resolved. And I'm not going to name any names or anything, but I completed the work, and this part I realized was left out of my contract, but I thought it was something they agreed to. Always double checking the contract and tailoring it bespoke to the client that I'm working with, and kind of leaving no stone unturned. Where I was supposed to get 2 grand for our job, and I ended up getting that money later than expected. I thought I was going to get a check for the amount in full on the day I was in on the site, the work site, completing the work and checking in with the client, and then them essentially saying, well, this wasn't what we agreed to. Miscommunication on both sides, and taking responsibility for my part in it. And they took responsibility in their part of it as well. And just not doing things like going on to social media and complaining about clients. Like, that's something I never do. I could get back to the client to get back to other people, and then it causes issues for everybody. I really try not to do that, and getting in a place where if I'm going to charge a rate, it's going to be respected, and getting paid when I'm supposed to get paid, and continuing to build that relationship with the client.